move abroad aligned with your goals? Short, medium, and long term, how in terms of scope and in terms of area of life. Does this make sense, guys? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. So let's go um, to the next slide. And let me see here. I lost myself here. Just a second. Boom, boom, boom. Just 1 second, because technology is not collaborating today. Just a second here. So send me your questions while I'm dealing with technology right now. Let me see. Who is the third party? I don't know who's the third party content. Don't know. It's YouTube. Yeah, because I'm live streaming on YouTube. Thank you, Sedalia. Sedalia's here helping me with the back end of the webinar. So let's move forward. Let me show you a practical application of the goal setting and goal alignment. So Carol was a client of mine. She was married with 2 children. She was part of a dual career couple. Her husband got an amazing opportunity to live abroad with his company. And while she was super happy for him and actually super happy for the opportunity to live abroad, she would have to leave her job. And by leaving her job, she would have to actually not have the financial independence of having her own income. So that was really like a sticky point in this decision. So what she did was the right thing. She started to think about her goals as an individual, as a family, while the family goals were like, yes, let's go, provide my kids with this education. It's going to be an amazing opportunity. But her individual goals and her career goals were not aligned with this move, right? So what she did was she started to think about this and working together and realizing that this was a sticky point. What happened was that they were able to talk to her husband's company and negotiate that, number one, she would have a visa that would be able to work in the new country. And number two, the company provided a headhunting service so she could actually look for a job in the new country. So you see what a potentially disastrous situation for a couple could be was completely averted because they thought about the goal alignment before the move. See what I mean? So in my case, when I moved to Portugal the first time, I had just finished my MBA. I wanted to go up the corporate ladder, and I decided to move to Portugal. And in hindsight, Portugal 20 years ago was not a country where many headquarters of multinationals were there. So my life decision of moving to Portugal was not aligned with my career goals of going up the corporate ladder. See what I mean? So this is one of the reasons that my first move abroad, in my opinion, wasn't successful. And this is what I talk about when we're talking about looking at the blueprint first. Make sense? Fantastic. So ready for step 2? Let's get into it. Decide where to live. So this part of stage 2, planning and research, is where we're typically looking at decisions on which country we're going to move to, or if we already know the country, which area, which town, which neighborhood, or even which apartment or which housing option. So what I'm going to share with you guys today, and here in this second step, you're going to be able to apply no matter the scope of your decision. How exciting is this? So let me know in the chat box, when you're thinking about looking for a place to live abroad, what is the first thing that you think about, or the first thing you should do? Let me know. Let's see the answers here. Basic requires that I would need, yes. Understanding, cost of living, public transportation, walkable, comfort and safety, fantastic. So this is a great starting point. Now, the thing is that as foreigners, we don't know about the places, do we? All we know is seeing YouTube videos or reading blogs or on Facebook groups, on social media. We don't really know the reality. But what we do know is what we want, what we need, and what we can't live without. That we do know. Now, how do we tap into that? Well, first, everyone has a wish list, right? Even if it's articulate, if it's written down or not, you have a wish list. But here's the thing. The chances of getting everything on your wish list into reality are very slim. Does that make sense? Very, very slim. So how do you know what to compromise? What are the trade-offs? How do you decide that when you're looking at locations? Well, the thing is that the next level, what you're going to do is the wish list is just the starting point. You're going to get your wish list, write it down, and then you're going to choose aspects or items on your wish list, go to the must-haves. The must-haves are the aspects that you believe today you need and you must have. And then you're going to drill it down even further and you're going to make a list of the non-negotiables. Now, the non-negotiables are the aspects that you absolutely cannot compromise. They are mandatory. You need to have them. Make sense? Okay, but how do you do that? Easier said than done. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to show you how. Let's say that your wish list has 20 items, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to choose half of your wish list and you're going to have 50% into your must-haves. So you have to choose only half to your must-haves. And then to go further, you're going to have to choose half to go to your non-negotiables. So in a wish list of 20 items that is very difficult to achieve, you drill it down to 5 aspects. This is an example, of course, of 5 aspects that for you are non-negotiable. Now, what I'm going to show you now is the secret sauce. What you're going to do is you're going to start looking at your non-negotiable list. And that's the first thing you're going to compare option A, B, or C. Country A, B, or C, town A, B, or C, neighborhood A, B, or C. And you're going to ask yourself, option A, what percentage does this deliver on my non-negotiable list? Option B, what percentage does this deliver on my non-negotiable list? And so on and so forth. Because if it doesn't deliver enough on your non-negotiable, you don't even have to look at the other lists because it doesn't deliver on the basic, on the essentials. Does that make sense? So that's what you're going to do. You're going to start with the non-negotiable. If it passes the test of the non-negotiable, my kind of threshold is 70%. So if the 70% of option A is in the non-negotiable list, then you go to the next level, and then you go to the next level. And then you see what the best option is. So then if any of these options scores less than 70%, consider eliminating it because it doesn't deliver on the bare minimum, and you don't even to think about it. Yeah. So this is an easy, simple way to decide where to live when you're looking at many different options, many different criteria, so you can have a laser focused attention and a system to do that, no matter if it's a country, no matter if it's a town, if it's a neighborhood or a housing option or unit. Yeah? Makes sense? Let me get my tea. Fantastic. So let's move on. Who's ready for the next step? How are we doing with time? Okay, we're half an hour in. So let's look into practical aspects of implementation. So this is stage 3. So we talked about setting the foundation. We talked about planning and research. Then we are talking about the practical aspects of implementation. And deciding what to pack is one of these aspects, right? Who here is in the phase of deciding what to pack and what to leave behind? And let me know which team you are. Are you team copy paste? So you're going to take everything from your current home, ship it, and put everything as it is in the new home? Are you team B, getting rid of everything? I want to declutter. I don't want anything. Are you team C, somewhere in between? I want to bring some things and other things I don't want to bring. Let's see. C, C, something in between. B, get rid of everything. C, C, B, no A's. Okay. Okay, something in between. No A's so far. Okay, so no one that I saw chose A. But if you chose A and you didn't write it down and you're just copy pasting, you might be missing out on the opportunity to really look through your stuff and decide what needs to give space, what needs to open up so you can bring in new things and new experiences. If you are team B, getting rid of everything, you might be missing out on the opportunity to go through your things and realize that there are objects and belongings that have meaning to you. And these objects and belongings that have meaning to you are things that will help ground you in your new location. Because after you move abroad, everything is new. And your home should be the place where you are able to recharge your batteries. And having familiar objects that have meaning, that ground you, helps do exactly that. So A, B, I'm telling you a little bit of the pros and cons. Now, C is somewhere in between. So how do you choose what you're taking, what you're leaving? How do you go about doing that? Well, I'm going to show you how. You ready? Let's see here. Okay. Are you ready? Yes. So this is what I thought my last move abroad would be like. I knew it was going to be full of boxes, but I thought it was going to be me with my tea, sitting around looking at how organized my packing was. Little did I know that it was like going to be like this. Things everywhere, clutter. I didn't know where to turn to. And I didn't know how to do things. I was completely lost. So that's when I realized I needed to ground myself and have a system. And the system that I created is the system that I'm going to share here with you. Are you ready? Okay. So I realized that we have two types of objects, two types of belongings. We have emotional stuff. Those are the objects that have meaning to us, that they bring us some kind of emotion, either joy or melancholy or they have some kind of significance to us. Hopefully they bring us good memories. They might be a memento or something handed down, from somewhere, or a gift or something like that. Typically, these emotional objects, they are very difficult, possibly almost impossible to replace. And you can't really find them easily, right? So they have a value that is not intrinsic to any monetary value. They have significance. They're important to us. And then they're practical objects. There are things that serve a purpose that we probably can find easily in our new country, and that, everyday stuff. Does this make sense to you guys? Okay, so basically, when we are deciding a move abroad, this is the first, or deciding what to pack and what to leave behind. This is the first step we want to look into. What are emotional objects and what are practical objects? And emotional objects, it's important to have some because, as I mentioned before, our new house, in order to become a home and a place where we can recharge our batteries, it's having these types of objects, and it will be different for different people, can be an important game changer to make us really feel at home and help us navigate the ups and downs of adjustment. Because, as I said before, we don't move to move, we move to live. The objective of the move abroad is to live abroad. Don't get stuck in the movement. The objective is to live successfully, whatever success means to you. Now, let me ask you this. What is this? The corkscrew, right? No brainer. Now, let me know in the chat box if this for you is an emotional object or is it a practical object? Let me know what you think. Practical, practical. Okay, now what if I told you that this corkscrew was given to me by my father because he kept a bottle of wine for my graduation? That when I graduated, we would open a bottle of wine together, toast, and it would be a celebratory moment. And after he opened the bottle of wine, he gifted me the corkscrew and the cork so that I could remember this moment. So now what is your answer? Is it a practical object or is it an emotional object? Well, it's kind of both. So things, and why am I showing you this example? Because some things can be both. Yes, it has a practical use. It can easily be found in places. It's not that expensive. So it's very important that when you're sorting through your things, you think about these undertones of objects. And even more important, that everyone in the family gets involved in this process. And someone said that any object can be emotional. Exactly. That's exactly my point. Any object can be emotional. So when you are deciding what goes and what stays, make sure that everyone in the family is involved in the process. Because if someone had thrown this corkscrew away saying, oh, it's just a corkscrew, you can buy a corkscrew in your new country, I would have been devastated because it's not just a corkscrew. It's my corkscrew from my graduation that was gifted from a special toast. See? So this is really, really important to include everyone involved. So moving forward, these are things for food for thought. Yeah, I want to really challenge you to think about things in a different way. Okay, mindset aspects of implementation. We are in stage 4 and step 4. And we are going to talk about the overwhelm. So chances are you have felt, are feeling, or will feel some sort of overwhelm during the planning process, the implementation process, and or the adjustment process of moving and living abroad. Yeah? Okay. I know I have, and this is a common theme. Actually, I've done market research about this when I started my business, and overwhelm was one of the top 3 challenges of living and moving abroad. Okay, so you can call it other things if you want, but basically, it is when we are in a cognitive overload. We have so much information that we have to process and digest that we end up sometimes forgetting things. We get lack of focus. So we read, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm like this, I read like 2 paragraphs and then I had no idea what I read and I have to go up the 2 paragraphs. And sometimes this happens 3 or 4 times. And then I know, yeah, okay, I need to take a break because I'm overwhelmed. That's how it is for me. So what happens is that, well, we end up wasting precious time and energy. Yes, if we have to read things 3 times, like in my example, we're wasting precious time and energy. And in the process, we can end up making bad decisions because we don't have the full picture and we can't process information. And we can end up second guessing our decisions. So doing something and then realizing, oh my God, maybe I should have read it before I. Does this make sense? Is this happening to you guys? I don't know. I know it happens to me, and it happened many times. So what can we do about this? So usually what we do is we have to-do lists. Do you have a to-do list? I have a to-do list. Yeah? Okay, but here's the problem with to-do lists. Our tasks are not all the same. And it can feel like a chore if we have just a laundry list of things to do. And we kind of miss out on the importance of each one of the things. And then, and this is kind of like maybe the most important aspect, having a simple to-do list can keep us from delegating and asking for help. Sometimes we don't need to do everything, but we just think we have to because it's on our list. But okay, what's the alternative? Okay, buckle up because I'm going to tell you. The alternative is the supercharged to-do list. And how does this work? So you've seen by now that I'm very practical, and I'm not going to tell you just what to do, but I'm also going to show you how to do it. Okay, so here it is. It's a 4-step process. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to put on a timer and maximum of 15 minutes, and you're going to brainstorm all of your to-dos. Now, here's the trick. You have to stop when the timer goes off. Okay, this is important. If you, after the timer goes off, and you feel you still have to-dos to write down, stop, continue the process that I'm explaining, and then go back to the beginning. Okay? Second step. Step number 2 is list all the benefits. So for each task, you're going to have a benefit. What that task brings you. What does it do for you? Basically, why are you doing it? And if you can't find a benefit, well, that task probably shouldn't be on your list in the first place. Because what's the point, right? So let's say that you have a task of you have to call a real estate agent because you want to put your house on the market. Okay, then that's your to-do list. And what is the benefit of that? Well, you have to sell your house because you need resources to move abroad. So you need to contact the real estate agent, right? Makes sense? So that's the benefit. Now, the next step is you're going to score for each one of the tasks the level of anxiety or stress that that task brings you. You're going to score from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. And then for scores of 7 and over, you're going to see and think about how you can reduce that level of anxiety. So you're going to break it down in smaller pieces. You're going to see who can help you with that. And this example that I gave, like, let's say that, oh, I hate speaking on the phone. I really don't want to call the real estate agents. Okay, that brings me a lot of stress and anxiety. So can I get someone to do that for me? My spouse or a family member? Can I first email them? And then the ones that respond, I get in touch with first. So you think about alternatives to get things done. Now, the tasks that score 6 or lower, what do? You do them because they don't bring you anxiety. Just put them on your calendar and do them. So this is what the supercharged to-do list will look more or less. And this is the bare minimum. You can build on this and you can include deadlines, you can include priorities, you can include categories, but having this clear and updated, so you can do this like every week or every month, depending how far away or close you are from your move, it will help you really hone into the tasks that need to be done and how to do them. Does this make sense? Is this helpful? Let me just sip my tea a little bit here. Yeah? Let me know in the chat box. Fantastic. So, woo, step number 5. We're almost at the end of the steps. So let's look into stage 5. Ready, set, go, plan to settle in. Okay, at this stage and this step, we are kind of like almost getting on the plane. We are last week's dealing with last time jitters and crunch time nerves. So what do? We start to plan to settle in. Because remember what I said, it's not about the move, it's about the life abroad, right? So here is a 3-step process to help you do just that. First, you're going to go to Google Maps and research. You're going to go through the place where you're going to live, your neighborhood, your surroundings, using Street View. And you're going to get familiar with the grocery stores, with the drugstores, with the bus stops, with where is there parking? Is there a park nearby? What are the streets like? Because this will help you to get acquainted and get familiar with your new surroundings. So when you do get there, the kind of initial shock of adjustment is a little bit lower. Does that make sense? So that's what you're going to do first. Then you're going to find out where to get essentials because chances are you're going to arrive jet lagged, tired, exhausted, living out of a suitcase sometimes for many weeks even. It takes a while to get settled in. So you want to do this before you actually hop on the plane. You want to find out where do I get essentials. If I need to get food delivery, where do I get that? How do I get that? Where is the branch of my bank? Where's the ATM? Where are the essentials? This is what you want to do before you even hop on the plane. And finally, you're going to plan activities for the first 2 weeks. You're going to start looking into what expat events you want to go to. You want to start really connecting with people online and getting, lunch dates or coffee dates. Start interacting so you have already 2 or 3 things to do during the first 2 weeks. This plan will help you settle in with a lot more ease. Does that make sense? Do you want to do this before you move and not after? Because after you move, you're jet lagged, you're tired. You want to have everything planned out. Yeah? Okay. So this is the pre-move roadmap. Now, I know many of you have already moved. So I wanted to include a bonus step because how to integrate abroad is something that many people say they want. I want to integrate, I want to interact with the locals. How do I do that? So I'm going to include a bonus step that also has a little bit of how to communicate abroad too. Are you ready? Bear with me a little bit. Okay. So this methodology was something that I created with many people that came up to me saying, I'm having a hard time adjusting. I don't know what to do. I want to integrate. And the first thing you want to do is really to define what integration means to you, because it can mean different things for different people, right? So think about what is your objective when you talk about integration. And here's a suggestion of a framework that you can use. So the first is, and I call it OR. Okay, that stands for observe, act, and reflect. So what you want to do first is you want to observe. You want to see how things are done, how people interact, how people don't talk, how close they are from one another. An example that a client gave me the other day was super interesting, that she went to the gas station and she didn't know how to put gas in her car. So, first observe, how do people put gas in their car? When do they pay? Do they pay before? Do they pay afterwards? Do they use their card? Is there someone there to help them? Start observing. And important here to stress is you observe not only the outside, so not only what's happening around you, but also how you feel. So you observe internally. If you like it, if you don't like it, if it feels awkward, if it feels comfortable. So that's the first step. The second step is to act. And this is, well, you've seen how people put gas in their car. Now you're going to actually put gas in your car. You're going to do it. You're going to see how it is. You're going to talk to people. You're going to interact. You're going to make friends. You're going to go places. And that is the second step of the OR methodology. And then you're going to reflect. You're going to think about, okay, did I like it? Did I not like it? Was it comfortable? Was it awkward? Um, this You're going to think about it, and then it creates a feedback loop on observing, and then you're going to start everything over again with the different topics and with different things. You're curious to see how this applies in real life? Yeah, I have something to show you. So meet Jane. So Jane was a client of mine. She moved to Portugal from Canada, and we were talking, and she said she felt uncomfortable in interactions with locals. She really wanted to make friends with locals, but it felt awkward. She didn't know exactly why. And she said, "Well, I signed up for a book club, but I haven't been here for like several months now, and I'm not able to make friends. I don't know what's happening." So here's what we did together. And actually, she did it with the OR method. She started to observe what was happening in the interaction. And she noticed that she felt very awkward when people were greeting one another with kisses on the cheek. So she moved to Portugal. You might know that in Portugal and many Southern European countries, people greet one another with kisses on the cheek, right? And she's like, that feels so awkward. I don't know. It's not, I'm not used to that. And okay, so she observed that. Then she challenged herself in the act, in the A of the or. So like, okay, for the next 5 book meetings, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try doing it and see what happens. So she did it. And then her reflection was that, okay, with people that I know or I've met before, it's okay. I feel it's not too bad. But with people I'm meeting for the first time, it feels extremely uncomfortable. So she decided to do just that. She greeted with 2 kisses on the cheek for the people that she already had met. And with people she was meeting the first time, she said a hello in a friendly way. Now, what ended up happening was she felt so much more comfortable being herself and respecting her boundaries and understanding how she felt that she ended up making more friends because she laid, her walls came down and just started to be herself. She wasn't overthinking everything. Does that make sense? So this is an example of how um, the she, I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat box. She was she was not from Montreal because I know Montreal is French based. She was from Toronto. So she felt that she ended up making more friends because she was able to be herself and she was not overthinking all this greeting thing. Does this make sense, guys? Is this, so this is the framework, this is how you apply this. Now, I wanted also before we end this part, I wanted to share something about intercultural communication because this is also something that people struggle with a lot. So when you are moving abroad or living abroad and interacting with people, it is very common to be in a situation where you don't know what they're saying. They don't know what you're saying. You're trying to communicate, and it is like very, very frustrating. Am I right or am I right? Yeah? I've been through that. It's really, really annoying. So, what do you do? I'm going to tell you. So, what you do is you follow the 3P rule. And the first P is pause. So, when you're in a situation like that, you want to stop. You pause what you're doing, you pause the interaction, take a couple of seconds to take a breath and to, regroup. Because if that communication is super frustrating and going nowhere, this is the first thing you want to do. You want to pause. Then you want to ponder, which is the second P in the 3P strategy. You want to think about, okay, can I use new technology? Can I use my phone? Can I use mimicry? Can I ask for help? You're going to think about different ways to communicate because it's amazing. And it's actually funny that we can see. Have you ever done this? I know I've done it. That when we're not communicating instinctively, what we tend to do first and foremost is say the same thing but louder. But it gets us nowhere really fast. Well, so we have to stop and think about, okay, what other ways can I use to communicate? Can I use my phone? Can I use Google Translate? Can I ask for help? And then the last P is to ask questions, pose questions. Always ask for feedback. Do you understand? Can I use another word? Because when we end in a question, when we end our part in a question, this means we're leaving communication open. and we're asking for input. So the give and take of communication is fluid, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you in terms of intercultural communications. Do you have any questions so far while I sip my tea? Yes, Deep L, I don't know how to, for European Portuguese, works on all platforms. Yes. But the thing is, you have to first pause and think about using technology. Sometimes we're so frustrated and so entrenched in that frustration that we don't even remember that we have these technologies. So fantastic. Well done. We're almost done here. And I wanted to just reiterate that when we're frustrated with communication, there's one universal thing that always works, and that's a smile. A smile goes a long way. A smile shows that we're really trying to communicate, that we're open, and it works no matter where you are. Okay, so I just wanted to reiterate that. Okay, so this is the pre-move roadmap. And this is the point where you have a choice. Remember that I said in the beginning that I was going to make an invitation after I shared the 5 steps. The 5 steps are done. And I hope this was helpful for you. And this is the point where I'm going to make an invitation and hope that you can stay on to listen what I have to say. So let me see if there's any things in the chat box before I proceed. Fantastic. So what I have here for you is a special invitation for the Expat Journey Program. So I created a program that has everything that we talked about, and it is a culmination of everything you need to prepare, implement, move abroad, and adjust after arrival. All of the steps, what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how you need to do it. So basically, it's everything you need in one place. Now, what does the Expat Journey Program include? We have a pre-move roadmap, we have a post-move roadmap, we have master classes, live workshops, Q&A sessions, live orientation calls, guest speaker interviews, a curated directory of service providers with benefits for members, and an ongoing community support through a private Facebook. So this is everything that's in the Expat Journey program. Now, I'm super excited about this because I've been working on this for over a year now. And basically, it's really, really the culmination of my work as an expat coach for 8 years, as my studies in my master's, and also as my own experience. So what do we find in the pre-move roadmap? Talked a little bit about this. So the stage 1 is setting the foundation, where you are going to really figure out if the move is for you and define and articulate the reasons for the move, identify all the changes that this movement entails, and what to be mindful about. Stage 2 is about planning and research. Learn how to research efficiently online, decide where to live, how to create a basic budget, how to plan financially, and how to create a checklist for a move that makes sense for you. Then we're going to look into stage 3, which is the practical aspects of implementation, how to get organized for the bureaucratic aspects of the move, how to create an action plan for decluttering and packing, and how to know exactly what is the best way for you to learn a new language. Then we're going to look into the mindset aspect of implementation. So how do you share the news of your move with family, friends, and loved ones? How do you create a connection plan so you keep connected throughout time? How do you deal with the overwhelm? Learn to support children and family members, and create a strategy to create a real home in your new country. And finally, in the ready, set, go, have a game plan in place so you can deal with the last minute hurdles, how to handle the crunch time jitters, and have a strategy in place for the first weeks in your new country. Now, this post-move roadmap, we talk about acculturation strategies. This is after you move. What are the typical phases of adjustment? What is expat burnout? How to deal with intercultural communication? Then, in the second phase of the post-move roadmap, how to integrate into a new country, understand how to understand and work with intercultural differences, and how to make friends. The third stage of the post-move roadmap is the new normal. Let's review your budget. Are you on the right track? Are you getting where you wanted to go? And now what happens? The fourth and last stage in the post-move roadmap is making it work in the long run. So you're going to do some goals assessment, values alignment, and help family members in the next steps. Now, this is what Lisa, I put together a pilot program that has been running since February. So this is already running. And this is what Lisa had to say. This is the pilot program members. This is what she had to say about the Expat Journey Program. This is what it looks like. So we have here the area of the pre-move roadmap. And I'm going to see if technology is my friend right now. So let me just answer a question before we do that. Okay, Dave, yes, at the end, there will be a Q&A, so you can speak, okay? Okay, bear with me. I hope this works. No, it didn't work. So this is what it looks like. Oh, okay. Murphy is really working today, isn't he? So do you have any questions about the presentation or the Expat Journey Program so far? And here we are. And here we are. So we have all of these areas. There is the pre-move roadmap area with videos where you can watch the videos. There's a workbook. You have a post-move roadmap that we talked about, the events calendar where you can find all the dates of the events, and a directory of service providers. I really wanted to show you this. Let me just see here, just a second. And let's see if it works now. No, it did. And we have the library where all the live events are recorded, the area to join the Facebook group. This is what it looks like inside. I will send you guys a video in the email with the how to navigate and everything that's inside. Then we have special bonuses. I am launching this program today. It's the pilot is done and it was super successful. So when you join by the end of the month, May 31st, you get amazing bonuses because this is a launch. So I'm including a scouting trip planner that has everything you need to know to plan your scouting trip. There's also a settling in cheat sheet, an ebook, Move Overseas with Ease ebook, my ebook, and a yearly planner. You can go to this link where you're going to find everything that you need to know. Sedalia is going to put the link in the chat box right now. So you can take a look at everything. And you're asking probably to yourselves, okay, how much is this, right? Am I right? Who's asking that? Yeah? Okay. So this is a membership and there are monthly and yearly options. So the monthly normal price is 28 euro, but we are in the launch, right? So until the end of the month, everyone gets 25% off, which makes it only 21 euro per month. Now, if you choose the yearly option, it would be 280 per month, but with a discount, 210 euro per year. Okay. In the yearly option, also, there's an extra bonus of 2 months free and a one-to-one call with me. So this is your chance to get in. This price will be locked in for as long as you remain in the membership. And there is zero risk. 30 days, completely try it. If you don't like it within the first 30 days, just cancel and you'll get a 100% refund. There's completely risk-free. So you can check out the link using the QR code, using the link in the chat box that Sedalia is going to include. And I just wanted to share here what another person who was in the pilot said about the Expat Journey Program. The pilot has been going on since February, so we have already lots of content. In the directory of service providers, we have over 16 businesses in the expat space. We have shipping companies, relocation agencies, medical concierge. There's lots of different businesses. So let's recap. Pre-move and post-move roadmaps. We have live workshops, live Q&A sessions, and live orientation calls. 3 live moments to interact with me and to connect with other people on the same path. Then we have master classes, which are a deep dive into a specific topic that is relevant to the expat experience. And we have guest speaker interviews, so you can hear from other people who have also made the move and how they dealt with the challenges. There's a curated directory of service providers. In this directory, we have businesses like foreign exchange brokers, financial planning. We have relocation agencies. We have career coaches. We have every business that you can imagine, and it's growing. We have lots of people, lots of business, and it's curated. It's not just come in. And they have special bonuses for members. So the businesses in the directory of service providers are offering discounts or $100 off or €200 off in their services, especially for members of the Expat Journey Program. There's a community support through a private Facebook group where you can get help, you can exchange ideas, you can ask questions. Then again, we have these amazing special bonuses. Scouting trip planner. If you're planning your scouting trip, this is a must-have. Settling in cheat sheet so you know what to do during the first 2 or 3 weeks of your life abroad, the Move Overseas with Ease ebook, and the yearly planner. And if you decide to join us in the yearly option, you get not only that, but also a one-to-one call with me and 2 months free. So again, completely risk-free. During the first 30 days, test it out. If it's not for you, you can cancel, and 100% you'll get your money back, total refund. But this ends on May 31st. So the 25% off and the bonuses end on May 31st, the end of the month. So check it out. Let me see if there are any questions. And so this is another person who was in the pilot, Kevin. He shared his experience being in the pilot with you guys here, and I'm sharing it with you. And Allison also was in the pilot. This is what she thinks about the Expat Journey Program. Let you read that. And again, this is a recap. So it's less than €1 a day. It's completely no-brainer, really. It's everything you need to plan, implement, and move abroad and adjust after arrival. Now I'm going to open to Q&As. Does anyone want to ask any questions about the what I talked about the content or the Expat Journey Program? Let's hear your questions. Thank you, Jeanette. I'm glad you liked it. So we have about 30 people here. If you want to open your, thank you, Mike. If you want to open your mic and ask questions, someone asked about that, you can. Who wants to ask questions?
I have one. It's psychologically complex. My husband was born in the US, but he is Portuguese. He just recently went through the entire process and got his citizenship. So that has cleared a lot of hurdles for us that a lot of people, as far as the technical details of hoops you've got to jump through. I've been doing a little deeper dive research on life and living in Portugal. We spent 5 weeks there a little over a year ago. We spent time north of Braga. We spent time in Albacosa. We went to Madeira and pretty much acted like tourists there. And then we went to the Azores, where his family is from. I have joined some not so popular Facebook groups that are more like what is the reality of living in Portugal? And I understand the concept of wherever you go, there you are. And I am very much in tune with the idea that we often, actually, we always create our own reality. And my husband and I are both very social. We can go into different settings and find people to connect with and talk to, even while we were in Portugal. Some of his Portuguese speaking ability came back, since he only spoke Portuguese until he was about 5. My concern has been with what I think I see and hear from what I'm reading is sort of a negative attitude towards expats, immigrants, whatever label we want to put on ourselves, coming there, overrunning their country, driving prices up. I didn't notice that feeling until we got to Madeira, and maybe a slight amount in the Azores, but there are also more touristy areas.
Yeah. So is your concern about how people react to expats? Is that it? Okay. So two things. First of all, be very careful with Facebook groups. Okay. People either post when they're very happy or when they're very unhappy. Okay. So you have to be very, very mindful of what you read.
Thank you. I'm looking to be talked off of either ledge.
Yeah. And the thing is that only you know your situation, and no one else knows anyone else's background, values, assumptions, financial life, family life. So whatever works for one person can be the exact opposite of what other people find. So when you do read that, take that with 10 grains of salt. Do your best. And actually, inside the Expat Journey Program, in the research planning and research phase, we have a methodology on how to research online. And actually going to Facebook groups is exactly the last thing you want to do. Literally, the last thing. I want to do a lot of things before. So if people are receptive or not, it depends who you ask. It depends on what day you ask, if they had a great encounter or a bad encounter with a foreigner. So it really depends. And that's what I can tell you, is to be very, very careful with Facebook groups or social media in general, because people tend to be or super rose-colored glasses or completely negative. And what I want to bring to the table is information and empowerment, so you have the ability to make your own decisions. Okay. So, so thank you so much for your question. Let me just say, we have other questions here. So let me see. There was a question here.
Chris sent a question. He asked, what is the expat burnout you mentioned?
Okay, so the expat burnout has to do with what happens when people are living abroad already and they are consumed by the overwhelm, to put it lightly. So basically, the expat burnout is when you're just so entrenched, possibly in the cultural shock phase, and you don't know what to do, that you end up having symptoms. And I put this in quotation marks because it's not a technical term, but you have the reality of what can be perceived as burnout, related to the experience of having to adjust to a new country, to a new language, to a new way of being. Okay, I hope I answered that question. So there's a question about dogs. So I don't have this information specifically, but we are talking to a company, pet transportation company, to join as one of the guest speakers in the guest speaker interviews and also in the directory of service providers. So the checklist, so I'm not giving a checklist, Dina, because I don't do checklist. What I am going to give you is the KEI worksheet, which is going to be in the email that you're going to receive with the recording. Okay. Let me see what else, what other questions. Okay, so I have some questions here for those of you who want to learn a little bit more about the Expat Journey Program. You might have want to know if it's specific to one location. It's not. So the content and everything, the trainings, the resources can be applied to every or any location. I've worked with people moving to places like Portugal, Mexico, Spain, Germany, Denmark, Brazil, Ireland, just to name a few. So all the resources can be applied no matter where you go. Also, another question that is quite common is what time are the live events? And the live events, the workshops, Q&A sessions, or orientation calls are at different times each month, okay, to cater to different time zones. Typically, they will happen in the afternoon and evening London time, so around 4 o'clock p.m. to later. Let's see if there are other questions in the chat box. Let's see. What else? Okay, so we have more questions here about the Expat Journey Program. Feel free to ask your questions or to open your mic. Let me see here. If you're going to, okay, there's some, okay, so if you haven't moved yet, does the Expat Journey Program make sense for me? Well, yes, because in the initial stages of the pre-move roadmap, the first part, actually, the first stage, we talk about how to determine if relocating is aligned with your families and your own best interests, if it's aligned with your goals. We talked about this in our webinar today. And also the online community is a great resource where you can ask questions, get insights from other people who are on the same journey in different stages. Does the Expat Journey Program have checklists and procedures for visa applications? And the short answer is no. Every situation is unique. And the idea is to inform you and empower you so you can do the research about visa application and legal procedures. That said, you will find training on how to organize your paperwork when the time comes for the bureaucratic processes. And inside the director of service providers, there are businesses that can assist with many of the legal aspects, and all members have discounts with these businesses. Dave, will you send an email with links? Yes, I will. I will send you an email with the links to the Expat Journey Program so you can check it out, and also the recording of this webinar, and also the gift that I promised in the beginning. What else? What happens if I don't like the membership? Well, you can cancel anytime. If you don't like it, you can cancel it, remembering that there is a 30-day guarantee. So during the first 30 days, if you cancel, you will get a full refund, no questions asked. Are the special bonuses available for those who are already in the program? Yes, they can be. Well, Lisa, the pilot program was a special price, but yes, of course, you guys can get the bonuses too. I'm moving as an employee with my company. Will the Expat Journey Program still be relevant? Well, the content, training, and resources are relevant. Really, it doesn't matter the context of the move, because the challenges are very similar. You see, there are some tasks that possibly the company or the relocation agency hired by the company will do, maybe bureaucratically, but anyone who is moving abroad will still need to prepare for a cultural change, for interaction, communication with people from a different culture, especially if they're working in a different country, as well as navigating daily life in a foreign country. Let's see. Is the yearly bonus give you 14 months of membership? No, you pay for 10 and get 12 months. That's how you get 2 months free. So you pay for 10 months and you get 12. You get 2 months free. Okay. And the next question is, I've already moved abroad. How will the expat journey help? Well, basically, navigating life abroad can be quite daunting. And as I talked, and I say this continuously in every single webinar I do, it's not about the move, guys. It's about the life abroad. The move is a means to an end. So living abroad can be very challenging. And what one of the reasons that I included not only a pre-move roadmap, but also a post-move roadmap is to help people navigate not only the preparation, but also adjusting, understanding cultural differences, communicating in a foreign country, making new friends, helping family members with their adjustment. And also, most of the time, people who have moved haven't thought about many of the things that they should have. And many of the aspects of the pre-move roadmap are very, very relevant for post-movers as well. Does this make sense from what we've talked about today? Probably lots of things are new and you haven't thought about it, because that's usually how it goes. What's in the directory of service providers? Well, the membership, being a member of the Expat Journey Program, provides access to a curated list of providers of businesses that are around the move abroad. So we have career coaches, shipping companies, relocation agencies, foreign exchange brokers, scouting trip agencies, medical concierge, and lots more. And all members will have a special discount or bonus with all the companies listed. So it's really, the idea is to be a one-stop shop, and the list is increasing and we are getting more and more businesses as we speak. And another question that people ask is, how can I connect with other members? Well, the community is a very crucial part of the support, really. You know, you can connect with members inside the Facebook group, the private Facebook group, and all of the live events, the workshop, the live Q&A session, and the live orientation call. They happen, each one of them happen once a month. It's a chance to interact not only with me, but with other members, ask questions and get support. Another question people ask is the content available right away? And yes, when you join, you immediately get access to all the content. You jump in, start making use of the training straight away. And also you'll find the calendar with all of the live events that you can watch, the recordings, and you can see the dates when they're going to happen in the calendar of events, of the guest speaker interviews, master classes, and the live events, workshops, orientation calls, and Q&A sessions. Let me just get a sip of my tea. Do you guys have more questions? If you want to open your mic, you can. No? Okay, so let's answer this one. So I'm not sure if this is for me. Can I sign up later? Do I have to decide now? Well, no, you don't have to decide now. You can sign up anytime. But this is a launch, and until the end of the month, the membership will go back to the full price, which is €28 a month and 280 a year. And the bonuses will also only be available until the end of the month. And again, recapping, so until the end of May, everyone gets a 25% discount. So the monthly price is €21. The yearly price is 210, plus all the bonuses that I listed. And for the yearly option, everyone gets 2 months free and a one-on-one call with me. Any questions so far? So recap, these are the special bonuses: scouting trip planner, settling in cheat sheet, the move overseas with ease ebook, the yearly planner, so you have everything in one place, so it can be organized, and the one-on-one call and 2 months free for the yearly option. What don't you see, Dina, on the website? Please let me
Sorry,
know.
I checked. I went to the website and didn't see the deal, the promotion, and I went to promo. Yeah.
Okay, let me just see. Just a second. Okay. Just a second.
It's Expat Journey Program. .com. Okay.
Yeah.
I still got to your website, but didn't
Okay,
find
so this is the website.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and this is where you're going to see the deal. Okay, 21 per month, 210 per year.
Okay, didn't see that. Thank you very much. That's helpful.
No worries.
Thanks.
And these are all the bonuses here. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want to join, you just click join now, and then you will be asked to include your name, and then you create a password, and this is the summary of everything. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Let me see here. Let's go back to our question. Any other questions? Okay, remembering that we have a 30-day money back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk. Sign up, try it for 30 days. If you don't like it, you can cancel. And within the 30 days, no questions asked, you get your full refund. And again, remember, this ends on the 31st of May. So another question I get: what happens if I miss a live event? So all of the live events are recorded and can be watched or rewatched if people have watched them already, as many times as they want. The recordings are always available 48 hours after the live event. And one other question that people ask is, can I get one-on-one support inside the program? And for the yearly option, yes, there is a one-on-one call included. And in addition, there are many ways to get support, not only from me, but from other members within the live event. So in the live workshops and the live Q&A sessions and live orientation calls, there is also access to me. There's also an opportunity to book a one-on-one for a special price if that is needed. And more questions. Let's see. And thank you so much. This is it. Let me just open, if you guys have any questions. We have 16 people left here. I'd love to see if you have any questions.